Dave Mustaine, the fiery frontman of the thrash metal powerhouse Megadeth, has etched his name into the annals of rock history with blistering riffs, intricate songwriting, and a voice that roars with unfiltered intensity. Formed in 1983 after his acrimonious departure from Metallica, Megadeth became a cornerstone of the genre, selling over 38 million albums worldwide and earning a Grammy along the way. Tracks like Symphony of Destruction and Peace Sells defined an era of political satire wrapped in aggressive soundscapes. Yet, in a move that has sent shockwaves through the heavy metal community, Mustaine has announced the band's disbandment following one final tour and album release. This decision, rooted in the relentless toll of physical ailments, marks not just the end of an epic but a poignant reflection on mortality, dedication, and the human cost of artistic pursuit. The catalyst for this farewell is Mustaine's deteriorating health, a battle he has waged publicly for years but now acknowledges as insurmountable for the demands of touring. Arthritis ravaging his hands, the very instruments that crafted some of metal's most technical solos, has rendered consistent performance untenable. It had been a long time coming, just physical stuff that was going on with my hands. My hands were letting me down, he revealed during a raw conversation on SiriusXM's Trunk Nation with Eddie Trunk. The pain isn't isolated, it's compounded by a cascade of spinal issues, bulging discs in his neck, a fractured lumbar bone, and a fused back from previous surgeries near his shoulders. These conditions, he describes, create a trunk of torment that radiates through his body, sapping the vigor needed for the high-octane shows that define Megadeth's live legacy. Mustaine's candor paints a vivid portrait of decline. Once a whirlwind on stage, leaping and shredding with precision, he now confronts the reality of a body betraying its master. The arthritis in particular strikes at the core of his identity. His fingers, calloused from decades of fretting complex chords, swell and stiffen, turning what was once fluid expression into labored effort. He recounts moments in the studio where the music flowed despite the hurt, but live performance, with its adrenaline-fueled improvisation and crowd interaction, demands a level of endurance he can no longer summon. I've got a broken lumbar bone. Of course, I have my back fused, up by my shoulders, by my neck. And just a lot of stuff, he laments, his voice a mix of resignation and defiance. This isn't hyperbole. Mustaine's medical history is well documented, from a near-fatal esophageal tear in 2019 that forced tour cancellations to ongoing nerve damage from a 2002 arm injury sustained in a fall. The tipping point arrived post-recording of Megadeth's Swansong album, a self-titled effort Mustaine believes captures the band's essence at its finest. It wasn't that I was unable to give 100%, because we finished the record and I think we did a good job on it, he explains, pride flickering through the pain. Yet during sessions doubts crept in. A casual remark to his manager, "I don't know how much longer I can do this. My hands are really hurting," snowballed into serious deliberation. Conversations with bandmates, family prayers, and sleepless nights led to clarity. The album's success would pave the way for one last triumphant tour. If the record does really well, then I'll be able to have one last really good tour, he reasoned, framing the farewell as a dignified exit rather than a forced retreat. This farewell thing, as Mustaine calls it, is no half measure. Megadeth, an American band with a global footprint, has toured relentlessly across continents, from sold-out arenas in Europe to festivals in Asia. Their live shows are marathons of musicality, often exceeding 2 hours with pyrotechnics, guest appearances and fan anthems. To bid adieu properly, the tour will span multiple years, revisiting key venues and incorporating special sets. We've got some dates that we want to play to say goodbye to our friends, he notes, emphasizing the communal bond with fans who have chanted his lyrics through triumphs and scandals. Unlike weekend gigs of lesser acts, Megadeth's itinerary will honor their international stature, ensuring every corner of their fanbase gets a piece of the closure. Mustaine's philosophy on retirement has always been uncompromising. "I always said when it got to the point where I was unable to give 100% every night, that's when I was gonna start considering winding down." This ethos stems from a career built on perfectionism. Kicked out of Metallica for substance issues in 1983, he channeled fury into Megadeth, assembling a revolving door of guitar virtuosos like Marty Friedman and Chris Broderick. The band's discography, from the raw aggression of Killing Is My Business to the polished fury of Dystopia, reflects his relentless drive. But that drive exacted a toll: addictions, legal battles, and now physical frailty. His 2019 health scare, which required emergency surgery and radiation for throat cancer, from which he recovered, was a harbinger. Yet, true to form, he returned to the stage, voice scarred but spirit unbroken. The announcement ripples beyond Mustaine personally, affecting a tight-knit lineup including longtime bassist David Ellefson, reinstated after a 2021 controversy, guitarist Kiko Loureiro and drummer Dirk Verburen. Mustaine speaks glowingly of their chemistry, crediting the self-titled album's cohesion to mutual respect forged in adversity. Fans, too, face a void. Megadeth's influence on thrash revivalists like Lamb of God and Trivium is immense, and this disbandment closes a chapter on 80s metal's Big Four, alongside Metallica, Slayer, and Anthrax. Speculation abounds. Will Mustaine pivot to solo work, perhaps acoustic reinterpretations of classics? Or collaborate with ex-members for nostalgia tours? He remains coy, focused on the present. Reflecting on his journey, Mustaine's decision humanizes the rock god archetype. Metal, with its imagery of invincibility, leather, spikes, and thunderous solos, often masks vulnerability. Mustaine, who has battled addiction since his teens, now confronts aging in a genre that idolizes youth. His story parallels those of peers like Ozzy Osbourne, whose Parkinson's has curtailed Black Sabbath reunions. Yet there's grace in his choice. By touring fully, he honors the pact with audiences who invested emotionally. The thing is, we're an American band, but we play everywhere. So, it's not like we just are weekend warriors. We've got a lot of touring to do in order to do our farewell properly, he asserts, underscoring commitment. As the final notes approach, Mustaine's legacy endures. A provocateur who wove geopolitics into head-banging anthems, from anti-war screeds to personal redemption tales. Albums like Rust in Peace remain masterclasses in progressive thrash, while his autobiography, Mustaine, a heavy metal memoir, lays bare the demons conquered. Disbandment isn't defeat, it's evolution. For Mustaine, stepping away preserves the band's blaze, ensuring Megadeth burns bright in memory rather than flickering out. As he prepares for this valedictory lap, fans worldwide gear up, not with sorrow but celebration of a warrior who, hands aching, still swings the sword one last time.